Most of the time, you live your life from one vantage point. That is your own mindset. Your unique values, perceptions, and beliefs create a filter and lens you view the world through. Your perception keeps you playing on the same field. To be able to see things differently, to appreciate where other people are coming from, and to solve your own unique problems, you need to be able to view life from a different vantage point. To do this, you need to get off the playing field, or what is sometimes known as off the dance floor, and up onto the balcony or up into the grandstand and observe life from a completely different vantage point. Perception is a mental muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes, and the easier it is for you to move from being a victim in your life and playing in drama to being able to have more compassion, empathy, and ultimately make choices that allow you to self-author your life. Early in 2018, a picture of Prince William went viral. It showed what looked like the prince giving the bird, that is, sticking his middle finger up at a crowd. However, different photographers captured the same moment from different vantage points, showing the world what was really happening. Prince William was actually holding up 3 fingers, indicating the birth of his 3rd child. If you had only seen the first image, your values and beliefs would have cast a negative judgment on the prince. This is just how we work. And if you never had the opportunity to see the same event from a different vantage point, you likely would hold on to your negative opinion of him for some time. This example shows you how a simple change of location or stepping into the shoes of someone else, in this case a different photographer, allows you to perceive an event, problem, or situation in a completely different way. Perception is what we like to call your point of view. And often people we live and work with will have a different point of view to ours. This can cause conflict, confusion, and even a breakdown in relationships when people hold on to their experience as their ultimate truth. It can feel like people are coming from a completely different viewpoint when you witness the same event or read the same book and they have different insights. It's as if they are seeing an event unfold from the ground floor while you are seeing it from the rooftop. Same experience or view, but different vantage points. Your perception is formed about a person, situation, thing, or experience once you become aware of it and develop a final understanding. It's how you see or think of something and is based on your unique personal experience. There is a parable that illustrates how we often have different perceptions to others, and we become headstrong in believing that our point of view is the right point of view. The parable is called The Elephant and the Blind Men, and if you haven't heard of it, it goes a little like this. Once upon a time, there lived 6 blind men in a village. One day, the villagers told them that there was an elephant in the village. They had no idea what an elephant was. They decided, even though they would not be able to see it, they would go and feel it anyway. They went to the elephant and each of them began to touch the elephant. As they each felt the elephant, they shouted out what they believed the elephant to be. "Hey, the elephant is like a pillar," said the first man who touched his leg. "Oh, no, it's like a rope," said the second man who touched the tail. No, you're both wrong. It's like a thick branch of a tree," said the third man who touched the trunk. "It's actually like a big fan," said the fourth man who touched the ear. "Nope, it's a huge wall. It's just like a wall," said the fifth man who touched the belly. "You're all wrong. It's like a solid pipe," said the sixth man who touched the tusk. They began to argue about the elephant, with each of them insisting that he was right, each knowing what they had felt and experienced to be true. As they became more and more agitated with each other, a passerby noticed their arguing. He stopped and asked them, "What's going on?" They said, "We cannot agree to what the elephant is really like." Each one of them told what he thought the elephant was like. The passerby calmly explained to them, "All of you are right. The reason every one of you is experiencing it differently is because each one of you touched a different part of the elephant. The elephant has all of the features each of you experienced individually. The knowledge that they had all experienced different aspects of the same thing, and that each of them and all of them were correct, restored calm and balance to the group, and it deepened their awareness. The moral of the story is that there may be some truth to what someone says. Sometimes we can see their truth, and sometimes, due to our own different perspectives, we can't see what they see, often leading to disagreement. Rather than arguing like the blind men, a difference of opinion or perspective is an opportunity to become curious and better understand how or why people see the things the way they do. Most of us live life through our memories. That is how we think and how we feel about past events. We all have memories from our past experiences, whether they be from school, family events, holidays, illnesses, good times, bad times, and even those awe-inspiring moments. Our thoughts and feelings become our memories. When you have a series of thoughts and feelings and put them together, they become your mental state. These mental states then combined turn into your beliefs. Beliefs are thoughts you have fired and wired together and emotionally embraced. They are hardwired circuits that keep you thinking and feeling over and over again. Beliefs are just a compartment in your brain, a closed loop of thoughts and feelings. Beliefs become your state of being. When you string a heap of beliefs together, you form a perception. This is how you see the world, your unique viewing lens. Perceptions are extensions of repeated and revisited thoughts and feelings. Strong emotions create very strong perceptions. You will only see the world and people according to how your brain has been wired. This means that your beliefs and perceptions are completely attached to your past experiences and your past thinking. Your perception may not be based on actual events and how they happened. It will be based on the thoughts, feelings, and mental state at the time of an event. The three factors that can influence your perception are your experiences, your motivational state, and your emotional state. In different motivational or emotional states, you will react to or perceive something in different ways. Also, in different situations, you might employ a perceptual defense where you see what you want to see and disregard the facts. This is commonly known as confirmation bias, our unique way to distort reality to have it fit into how we believe the world to be. Knowing that your point of view is based on your past thinking and possibly outdated beliefs means that you can expand your perception by taking on new points of view. This is especially useful when you are faced with a problem you can't solve. Changing the way you look at a problem or changing the thoughts and beliefs you have about an issue can often lead to solutions and save many an argument. Most arguments are caused by the different ways in which we all see the world. Doing your best to put yourself in someone else's shoes is a guaranteed way to build stronger relationships and increase your mental complexity. We will look at two ways you can strengthen your perception. One is a framework to help you map different points of view, and the other is a simple activity you can use to help you step into the shoes of anybody at any time in any given situation. Let's start with the activity that allows you to increase your capacity to step into the shoes of another person. This helps you solve your immediate problems. You may find this to be a simplistic way of looking at your problems. However, I encourage you to experiment with it next time you feel stuck. Einstein has been attributed as saying, "You can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that caused it." What we tend to do is we approach the world from the same perception that causes and creates our issues, making it difficult to find a solution or a way through it. I personally started using this activity after reading about a similar approach recommended in the classic book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. This is how easy it can be. Write your problem or challenge on a piece of paper. Take a few slow breaths to center yourself. Think about someone who may have overcome a similar problem. The person could be anyone living or dead. If you don't know of anyone who may have faced a similar challenge, simply think of someone you admire. Then, using your imagination, ask yourself, what would they do in this situation? Or, if you can't think of an actual person, ask yourself, what would a genius do? Remember, you are using your imagination in this activity. As you begin to step into the energy of the other person, you will notice ideas come to you. Write them down where applicable and then take action. Although it appears simple, this activity allows you to use your imagination to see things from another person's point of view. Imagining that you are someone else shifts your thinking patterns, helps you to temporarily suspend your own mindset, releases your biased point of view, allowing new information to flow to you. The second way to shift your perception is to use a framework known as the polarity map, created by Barry Johnson. Mapping points of view allows you to step into the shoes of others to better understand where they are coming from, what is important to them, their unique needs, and why they have their point of view. It allows you to see the world through their lens and work on a mutually beneficial solution. If you ever find you are caught in long meetings that go nowhere, or you are navigating organisational, social, or family politics, or even back and forth decision making with a partner, this is usually a sign that you are seeing a problem as binary and potentially not recognising the opportunity to manage polarities. When you fail to identify accurately that there is a polarity to manage and try to solve a problem with an old two-sided approach, you will likely end up in the dynamics of drama. Polarity mapping, in essence, is a visual framework for tackling problems and paradoxes at work and in life. Using the polarity map can help you to weigh the costs of and benefits of differing values and opinions that rise up in a problem or conflict. The framework was created to help problems be solved in a realistic and multi-dimensional manner. A polarity map is a visual aid that includes upsides and downsides that emerge when looking at a problem. Each side is incomplete without the other side, portraying a realistic feel to problems that surface in real-world scenarios. For best results, it's a good idea to build and revisit your polarity map in collaboration with a partner or team. When working together, you are able to bring various perspectives to a problem. Seeing a problem from all sides allows everyone the opportunity to keep the discussion useful and respectful. A polarity map helps you to open conversation, ensuring that everyone's point of view is heard. Polarity maps consist of 4 quadrants known as poles. These poles each have an upside and a downside. Upsides are the positive results when focusing on a pole. Downsides are the negative results or costs that emerge if you focus too much on one side. The first step is to identify the polarities you are working with. Put them on the left and the right of the equation, that is, pole 1 and pole 2. The labels you give each pole should be relatively neutral and not emotionally charged, biased in any way, or diminish the ideas of others. To help you see how this works, we will use the example integrating well-being with work and look at 2 differing opinions of Joe and Sarah. Joe likes to devote his time to focusing more on well-being, while Sarah believes her career is more important and focuses her time and energy more on work. We'll label pole 1, well-being, and pole 2, work. At the top is the best case scenario, meaning if we figure this out together and manage our differing opinions and values as opposed to bouncing from one polarity to the other, what's the highest and best thing that can happen? For our example, Joe and Sarah agree that the best thing that can happen would be having a sustained quality of life. At the bottom, we get clear on consequences. If we continue to think that there is a single solution and doing what we have always done, what's the worst that could happen? In our example, Joe and Sarah decide that the worst result would be unsustainable living. Once you have identified the two poles, the idea is that there are no binary answers anymore. You're learning to see all sides of the issues and make informed and collaborative choices. Winston Churchill's quote, "Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen," is a great reminder of how to approach this next step. Above the horizontal line, each person shares the good things they like to happen from their perspective. We are aware that we can't have it all. However, these are simply the good things that each person calls out. In our example, Joey's a strong supporter of well-being. So in the top right-hand quadrant, he lists the benefits of focusing on well-being. Things such as being more relaxed, rejuvenated, having more energy, being fit, lower stress levels, more time for creativity, and he also feels good. While Sarah insists that work is a priority and lists the benefits of working hard in the top left-hand quadrant. She believes that work is an opportunity to make a difference, use her skills and talents, and develop new ones. Work provides a challenge, is mentally stimulating, is a way of earning money to do the things she wants, and it provides really good peer relationships. Now that we have identified the hopes and dreams and aspirations, it's time to call out any fears in relation to the opposing pole. You do this by listing your fears and worries diagonally from your own hopes and directly below the opposing person's hopes. Typically, we only see our own hopes, the things we value, of our side, and we tend to see the fears or the worst case scenario of the other person's point of view. Mapping your hopes and fears and allowing the other person to share theirs can be really eye-opening and help to shift entrenched dynamics. In our example, Joe fears that if he focuses too much on work, he will end up stressed and exhausted. He doesn't want to burn out. He is afraid that the work environment is unhealthy. He fears that focusing on work will put undue strain on his personal relationships and that he'll have no time for his personal pursuits. Sarah, on the other hand, fears that if she spends too much time away from work focusing on her well-being, she won't be making a difference. She won't grow. She won't be effectively using her skills and talents. She finds well-being practices boring. She's afraid that if she doesn't work hard, she'll be seen as not contributing and may lose her ability to earn a living, leading to a lack of mental stimulation. We now have a visual representation of the positives or upsides and the negatives or downsides of integrating well-being into work. As you look at the problem in its totality, you can see that it's not a matter of one being right and the other wrong. The problem isn't actually divided into two parts. We usually unconsciously create the two parts, and this is what keeps us stuck in unnecessary tug-of-wars. When you see the polarities mapped out, you realize the problem is not complicated and a solution can be straightforward. It takes a switch to a different way of thinking. Instead of being right, the new thinking is both are right. And how can we effectively manage the polarities together? With the visual aid putting everyone's hopes and dramas and dreams in the limelight, it's important to ensure that once the elevated feeling of seeing each other's points of view fades, that you don't end up reverting back to distrusting each other and believing that the other person doesn't understand how brilliant your views are, and you keep trying to make your point of view right. The solution is we overlay the polarity map with an infinity symbol. This symbol represents that there are no fixed eternal solutions to any of our complicated problems, and that we simply continue to cycle in a dynamic way back and forth between them. The aim is to maximize how high above the horizontal you can cycle by making the most of both upsides and minimizing the downsides. The solution is to experiment with both options above the horizontal axis, continually steering between both upsides without overcommitting. Acknowledge that where you are going is not going to be free from difficulties. Support each other's values, hopes, and dreams so that you can rise together. Agree on a simple metric to measure your collective successes and to know when you veer off course. Make a personal commitment to stay in the present without having to explain your emotions. Be uncommitted to your point of view and highly aware that there is always going to be information outside of your personal experiences. When you make a commitment like this, you become deeply present and poised in the moment, no longer allowing the stories of the past or future to influence your point of view. With your deeper understanding of perception and the tools to shift your perception, you have the ability to resolve conflict, solve your own problems, and shift your perspectives in a powerful way. Learning to walk in another's shoes and manage polarization are incredible tools to ensure you are future ready. One allows you to tap into information using your imagination, and the other helps you to see the upside of things that are opposite to what you personally value. And acknowledge that your side isn't perfect. Strengthening your perception allows you and those you care about to be better humans together.